Good day. Welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. President Muhammadu Buhari has ordered the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Monguno, to set up an investigative committee on the procurement of hardware and ammunition in the armed forces from 2007 till now. In a statement released on Monday by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the establishment of the investigative committee is in keeping with President Muhammadu Buhari's determination to stamp out corruption and irregularities in Nigeria's public service. The probe will span from the late President Umar Yar'Adua's administration to former President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is currently in Nigeria for a two-day official visit. Ki-moon arrived in the country on Sunday in a visit some have hailed as highly significant. This is the second time the UN leader will visit Nigeria since the election in January 2007. He met with President Muhammadu Buhari. He also laid a wreath at the bomb site of the United Nations building in Abuja, attacked by Boko Haram terrorists in 2011. In the first day of his official visit, the UN head met with state governors of Nigeria to discuss sustainable development goals being put in place to replace the Millennium Development Goals in the country.
The Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF, is a coalition of all democratically elected governors of the country, 36 states of the Federation, who have come together in spite of our party affiliation to cooperate, collaborate, and share ideas on bringing development to our people. Let me therefore reassure Your Excellency of the collective resolve of these governors to eradicate polio from our country, our state and local government. In this wise, I'm delighted to inform Mr. Secretary General, that since you were last here, Nigeria has made unprecedented stride in a fight against this scourge. In fact, this month marks one full year without any report of any case of polio in Nigeria.
Governors play a fundamental role in the future of this country, the region, the African continent, and indeed our world. I always have a deep respect for governors and mayors. Of course, I normally meet President, Prime Minister, and ministers because they make their national policies. But after all, it is the mayors and governors who implement on the ground. You understand the people's challenges and aspirations. You have the resources and power to help people of Nigeria realize the tremendous promise of this great country. On education, healthcare, women's empowerment, climate change, governance, institution building, security, and on rights, human rights across the board. I'm here to listen and support you. Nigeria occupies a central place in the family of nations. As I visit, Nigeria also happens to be serving as the presidency of the Security Council. Now, since you joined the United Nations in 1961, that you have served 5 times of UN Security Council as president. This is the first and last, the first country in the African continent. No country in Africa has served 5 times. This is yet another reminder of the weight and power and influence of your country's regional and global responsibilities.
United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has called for the unconditional release of the over 200 Chibok girls and many other children abducted in the northeast by members of the Boko Haram sect. Ban Ki-moon made the appeal shortly after having a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa in Abuja as part of the activities lined up for his two-day visit in the country. He also commended Nigeria for the peaceful elections which held earlier this year.
This is a time of hope. While we have a lot of challenges, this is a time of hope. I want to commend you and all of Nigeria's leaders for the peaceful democratic transition of power. Nigeria sent an important signal of hope throughout the continent. You have seen many such conflicts in this country over the election. Elections should serve as a rallying point, rallying occasion of the people. But often, when elections are not well managed, it has become the source of conflict and fighting and killings and destructions. But you have shown such a great example. This is also a moment of hope for the world, particularly in the field of political maturity and development.
The Nigerian Air Force say they have intercepted and destroyed two trailers suspected to be carrying logistic support to members of the Boko Haram terrorist sect. A statement released on Sunday by its spokesperson, Air Commodore Dele Alonge, said the trailers were destroyed by the Nigerian Air Force Augusta helicopter on armed inspection mission around the Nigerian-Cameroon border. He added that the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, commanded the various platforms involved in the recent air operation against the insurgency sect. The operation was aimed at providing close air support to ground forces led by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, as they advanced from Dikwa to Gomboro Ngala. Meanwhile, one attack helicopter was hit during the operation. President Muhammadu Buhari has urged lawyers and lawmakers in Nigeria to join and support his administration in its war against corruption. Speaking at the opening of the 55th Annual General Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA), President Buhari described corruption as the greatest human rights violation ever. He said corruption diverts public resources meant for millions of people into the private pockets of a greedy few, thereby causing a lot of suffering, deprivation, and death. Buhari also said the effects of corruption were manifesting in the lives of innocent Nigerians who are suffering and deprived from basic amenities. He also urged Nigerian lawyers to uphold the integrity of the country's legal system and help the country return to the path of rectitude by making Nigerian courts functional and effective again. The immediate past governor of Rivers State, Chibuike Amaechi, has again explained why he is opposed to and wants to stop the Judicial Commission of Inquiry set up by his successor, Nyesom Wike, to probe some selected government transactions during his time as governor of the state. In a statement released by the former governor's media office, Amaechi said he was not afraid of a fair and decent probe or investigation or inquiry of his administration and would cooperate and support such probe or investigation or inquiry inasmuch as it is done within the ambit of the laws. According to Amaechi, what the current governor has set out to do is anything but a fair probe. He says the commission will not be fair to him because it was set up to indict him, as he has showed bias that the governor was guilty even before investigations. Rivers State High Commission had dismissed the suit filed by Rotimi Amaechi challenging the setting up of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry to probe his administration. Amaechi's counsel, Winifred Naya, said the governor would also appeal against the judgment. The All Progressives Congress (APC) has commended Nigeria's service chiefs for showing what it describes as leadership by example by personally taking charge of the ongoing stepped-up fight against Boko Haram. The ruling party said the development was a breath of fresh air in the counter-insurgency battle. In a statement issued in Abuja on Monday by spokesperson Lai Mohammed, the party said the widely published reports that the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant Tukur Burtai, and the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, are personally coordinating the efforts of their troops in the theater of war is the best news to have emerged from the front line of the Boko Haram. According to the party, quote, there can be no bigger boost to the morale of the gallant troops combating Boko Haram than the sight of their service chiefs personally leading the charge from one village to another, battling the insurgents, end of quote. APC reiterated its earlier call on Nigerians to continue to support in all possible ways the efforts of the troops. The National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) has assured that the plans are at advanced stage to meet its June 20, 2017 deadline to switch over from analog to digital broadcasting in line with international standards. Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission, Emeka Mba, disclosed this at the NBC annual lecture held in Abuja. He said it was regrettable that the Commission could not beat the June 2015 deadline, blaming it on a cash crunch.
We know that we're moving into challenging times. I will not even attempt to want to speak anything about what Mr. Taylor is going to talk about. But we have taken great strides. We are ready for digital, and we're committed to making sure that we make this jump. And this jump is not only going to come at considerable expense to us, to the Commission. I'd like to challenge my colleagues, both within the Commission and outside, the broadcasters, that we're in for a very interesting ride. I hope that all of us will remain committed to the same principles and ideals that helped establish this Commission 23 years ago, which is hard work, which is dedication, which is a commitment to the public good. I believe that once we do all of this, we will succeed in making sure that the next 23 years and the next many years going forward, that broadcasting continues to serve the people. And as we continually say at the Commission, we believe that broadcasting should serve as a vehicle to unite our people, to promote the principles of democracy, to promote the principles of unity for us as people, that can bring us closer to a more civilized, a more developed society. That is the goal of broadcasting, and that is what NBC is committed to doing over the next coming years.
A telecommunication expert has identified lack of political will as a mitigating factor against convergence of regulatory institutions in Nigeria. Speaking at the first annual lecture of the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) in Abuja on Monday, Shola Taylor, Secretary General, Commonwealth Telecommunication Organization, said the need for the ICT sector to have a sole regulatory body cannot be overemphasized in keeping up with international best practices. The telecommunication expert also said Nigeria must emulate the developed world in having a sole regulator with the objective to attract investments in the sector, protect such investments under fair cooperative environment regime, and also protect the consumer as well.
Despite the convergent technological environments and contrary to global trends, Nigeria's broadcasting, telecommunications, and internet sectors are still largely separately regulated. This current situation is not only detrimental to growth of the ICT industry in Nigeria, but is a disservice to the Nigerian consumer. In Nigeria, successive governments have set up committees to consider the issue of convergence of our ICT regulatory institutions. Unfortunately, no government has had the political will to implement the current recommendation of all such committees to converge our regulatory institutions. I have served at least 3 times in those committees, and every time we came to conclusion, but the government of the day was never able to implement. Convergence of both markets and technology is a global reality, and Nigeria cannot afford to ignore this reality. Convergence promotes efficiencies in several ways, including spectral utilization efficiency. Other benefits include creation of jobs, creation of new markets, content, infrastructure backbone, increased consumer choice, cultural diversity, and increased competition. Given our current situation, our new government should be advised to embark on the comprehensive review of the individual acts for telecommunications, broadcasting, and mass communications, with a view to creating an umbrella act to cover the ICT sector and repeal the individual acts accordingly. That work will provide a modern ICT framework that will take the country forward and allow the full benefits of ICT to be realized. It is reasonable to envisage that this work can be done in approximately 2 years. And if government decides to take that route, the CTO will be prepared to assist within the framework of capacity building.
Let's take a break now. When we come back, we'll look at more stories. Don't go away.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching the Funny White Man Show, which is the biggest, the brightest, and the most entertaining show in Africa.
Funny white man, funny white man, funny white man, but this way you talk, it's too much. Give me 5,000 man, that's you. It's too much. So you get it like, Messi move along the street. Ah, yeah, Messi like there, I'm going girl. You know, my own people, actually. Yeah, fine, it's fun. I enjoy it. And I'm one of those very few.
I'm forever taking it personal. I will listen 160 million Nigerians are corrupt. How? My brother, I'm looking for you.
Yeah, but it's a growth, and this is the time to build business. I know the pitfalls, I know what to do and what not to do. But there are months where you get business and months.
You know how we do, how we train them. We do the way you do.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching Trending Matters on the Funny White Man Show. Of course, they will bring you trending issues just to entertain and tickle your fancy.
Welcome back. You're watching News Now on TV360. Following widespread reports of corruption in the immediate past administration of President Goodluck Jonathan, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who was the finance minister at that time, says she is prepared to be probed by the current administration. The former Minister of Finance, who has denied being involved in corruption and embezzlement, said she is in full support of President Muhammadu Buhari's anti-corruption drive. Speaking through her spokesperson, Paul Nwabuiku, Okonjo-Iweala maintained that she upheld clean records during her time in office, which is 2 terms. According to Nwabuiku, quoting the former minister, "No one who has had the privilege of serving his or her country should feel too big to be investigated." The former minister also denied nursing any idea of planning to build a multi-million-dollar Okonjo-Iweala Family Hospital in Abuja as claimed by media reports. She described the reports as totally baseless, as the alleged hospital is non-existent. To business stories now, oil prices hit a 6.5-year lows on Monday after Chinese stock markets suffered their biggest one-day fall since the global financial crisis. This further intensified worries over the outlook for global oil demand. Inaction by the Chinese government following an 11% rout in local stock markets last week encouraged a free fall in global equities and other commodities on Monday. Brent oil was trading down $1.20 at $44.26 a barrel, while U.S. light crude was down $1.15 to $39.30 a barrel. Multi-year lows in oil prices have so far failed to trigger any action from the world's biggest producers to rein in output. To international stories now, police in London on Monday said the death toll from the crash of a plane while performing acrobatics display in southeastern London may rise from current count, which is 11. Assistant Chief Constable Steve Barry of Sussex Police expressed doubt that though the death toll is likely to rise, the figure is not expected to exceed 20. The Hawker Hunter plane of a type developed by Britain in the 1950s struck several cars on Saturday on the major road next to Shoreham Airport near Brighton, where the show was taking place. Authorities say the pilot, Andrew Hill, who was pulled out of the wreckage alive, is still in a coma. 3 Americans and a Briton who fought a suspected terror attack on a train have been awarded France's top honor by President Francois Hollande. Hollande on Monday presented Spencer Stone, Alex Kalatos, Anthony Sadler and Briton Chris Norman with the Legion d'Honneur at the Élysée Palace. The passengers overpowered a suspected radicalist Islamist on a high-speed train bound for Paris on Friday. French authorities are questioning the suspect, 25-year-old Moroccan Ayoub El Kazani. Sophia David, who is the lawyer to the suspected terrorist assigned to Kazani, said the Moroccan was dumbfounded that his act is being linked to terrorism and said that he was found with weapons in the Belgian park and wanted to only rob passengers. On the French law, authorities have until Tuesday evening to question the suspect. To sports stories now, Nigeria's only medal hope in the IAAF World Championship was squashed as Commonwealth champion Blessing Okagbare finished a distant 8th position in the 100-meter final. Okagbare finished with a time of 11.2 seconds, a huge margin behind the eventual winner, Shaylan Fraser-Price, who finished in 10.76 seconds. Netherlands shippers won the silver while Tori Bowie of US clinched the bronze title. The result is seen as a major disappointment for Nigeria and Okagbare, who in the 2014 Commonwealth Games became the 4th woman to win the 100-meter and 200-meter event. Anticipations are high for the sprinter to make up for this poor outing in the 2,200-meter event of the IAAF Championship. Super Eagles head coach Sunday Oliseh has made some changes to the group of home-based professionals as he prepares to play the 2017 AFCON qualifier against Tanzania and the international friendly against Niger Republic. Oliseh invited 23 home-based players to camp and has the plans to rebuild the national team with a mixture of foreign and home-based players. However, after an intensive opening week of training in Abuja, Oliseh decided to reshuffle the team as a result of injuries and his promise to work together with the under-23 team head coach Samson Siasia. The former Eagles captain has also released Siasia's players to join him as they prepare for the All-Africa Games next month. World champion Usain Bolt has described his IAAF World Championship 100-meter victory as the hardest race of his career. Bolt produced a sensational performance as he put a troubled season behind him to beat 2-time doper and clear favorite Justin Gatlin to retain his World 100-meter title. He won his 3rd World Championship 100-meter gold medals in a time of 9.79 in Beijing, China. His victory has been widely hailed as victory for athletics over the drug cheats, and Bolt himself has admitted winning the race was a good feeling. Gatlin came second in 9.77 seconds, while Canada's Andre DeGrasse and young American Trayvon Bromwell were both awarded the bronze medal after they both came 3rd in 9.92 seconds. We've come to the end of news now. We thank you very much for joining us. I am Thelma Okoro.